Hello, Rama Pupada. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's continue with Kunjuswamy. On the flip side, there were many days when they did not have food to eat. Bhagavan's brilliance had just begun to spread, and many did not know of his existence or bring any offering of food. Bhagavan was in his early 40s, while Kunjuswamy and Ramakrishna Swamy were young men in their early 20s. They were all energetic workers but often went hungry. According to Hindu custom, one has to observe a complete fast on Ekadasi, the 11th day of the every month. It is compensated by a feast on Dwadashi, the 12th day. Whenever they did not have any food, Bhagavan would amuse them by saying, "Today we will celebrate Ekadashi." When after a day or two some devotees brought them some ample food, Bhagavan would then say, "Today we will celebrate Dwadashi." On some days there would be enough rice but 10 people to feed. Bhagavan would encourage them by taking them to the forest. He knew about all the varieties of greens and would ask the disciples to gather them while he told them about their medicinal properties and how to cook them. In South India, rice is eaten as the main preparation and vegetables are eaten as side dish. Bhagavan would say, "Why should rice always be the main dish? Today we will have these greens as the main dish and read rice as the side dish." Kunjuswamy said they never felt tired even if they didn't have their creature comforts. Bhagavan inculcated in them his own equanimity. Like most highly advanced beings, Bhagavan was never mindful of whether there was enough to eat or not. But the beauty about Bhagavan was that he bestowed on his disciples that state of tidiksha, tolerance too. Kunjuswamy said, Bhagavan came away from Madurai as a 16-year-old boy straight out of school. He could not have had a chance to acquire too many skills, yet he was specially gifted. He knew how to make beautiful garlands with flowers and stitch plates out of dry leaves. He also had excellent culinary skills and could cook a vast variety of dishes. Kunjuswamy often wondered where Bhagavan had learnt all these. When people began to give bhiksha, they would give 5 rupees in those days and some rice, dal and vegetables. Their only condition was that Bhagavan had to walk around the hill with the person who had given him bhiksha that day. Everyone truly enjoyed this, including the 7 or 8 residents of the ashram. To them, accompanying Bhagavan on Giri Pradakshina meant walking along with God. Kunjuswamy once said to me, "We did not feel that we were walking with one of our friends or a saint, but with the Supreme God Himself, walking on 2 legs with 2 hands and a head." The old hall, which is now used for meditation in Ramana Ashramam, was built in 1926. Kunjuswamy was very happy because Bhagavan could be given a couch, though Bhagavan himself did not like it. Bhagavan said, "I prefer to sleep on the rock." When the disciples placed a new velvet cushion on it, Bhagavan said, "This velvet cushion is pleasurable and enjoyable only to you. It is a bed of thorns to me. I prefer to sit on the rock." Even so, Kunjuswamy said he was very happy that Bhagavan could have the comfort of the couch. Here too, the devotees slept in the same hall as Bhagavan. There were a few dogs at Ramana Ashramam, and Kunjuswamy admitted that none of them were fond of the animals because they were a nuisance. The hall where they slept was also the kitchen, the dining room, and the audience hall. These dogs too lived there. Bhagavan knew of some of the disciples' discomfiture with the canis, So Bhagavan made them sleep below his couch. At night, he could take them for a walk and then bring them back and tell them, "Get under the couch. The others will get angry if you stay outside. Go in." Bhagavan also worked along with his devotees all the ashram chores, including gardening, chopping vegetables, cooking, cleaning, and even masonry work were done by Bhagavan too. He would bring rocks and mix water and mud for mortar to build walls. When the master accompanied his disciples in their work, they felt rejuvenated and happy. One day, when Bhagavan was seated in the midst of his devotees, he suddenly got up and strode quickly towards the hill. Kunjuswamy said, "I was very curious. Bhagavan usually never did anything unpredictable. On the rare occasions that he did, there was always some significance behind it." Kunjuswamy was waiting for Bhagavan to instruct him to come, but the Guru went alone. From a distance, he could see Bhagavan surrounded by monkeys. After half an hour or so, Bhagavan came back with his eyes swollen from shedding tears. We were alarmed and asked what happened. Bhagavan replied, "These monkeys have been searching for me at Kanda Ashramam. When I left, they searched all over the hill, putting their lives in peril. Monkeys live in kingdoms, and if they wander into another territory, they could be killed by rival monkeys. These monkeys have come with their children, risking their lives, and are begging me to come back to Kanda Ashramam because they miss me there. It took me a long time to persuade them. I explained my situation and asked them to go back. I gave them my assurance that they will get back safely." Whenever Kunjuswamy narrated this anecdote, he would weep copiously because it would bring before him and us Bhagavan's poignant unity with the animal kingdom. Bhagavan would often point out, what is the difference between animals, birds, and us? Birds wear the bird body, animals wear the animal body, and we wear the human body. We all wear different bodies like different shirts, but in reality, we are all the same being. Kunjuswamy loved animals and noticed Bhagavan's relationship with them. He was therefore the source of all stories of the master's relationship with animals and birds. If you go to Ramana Ashramam, you will see 4 tombs for 4 animals. Bhagavan treated animals just like he treated human beings. There was absolutely no difference. Just as he bestowed liberation for his mother, so he conferred mukti to a deer, a dog, a crow, and a cow. And these are only the known instances. Moreover, when Bhagavan was at Kanda Ashramam, Kunjuswamy told me that he himself had seen this. As soon as a baby monkey was born, the entire group of monkeys would come to Bhagavan and place the newborn with blood and all on his lap. Bhagavan would wash it and return it to the mother. This is indeed a remarkable phenomenon because usually if a human being were to so much as touch a newborn monkey, the whole herd would reject the newborn. He also cared for the delivery of the ashram pups. Squirrels used to complain to Bhagavan, who would often mediate between them if they quarreled. He even would attend to cats whenever they were ill. There was one cat that had a diseased eye. Bhagavan kept a towel with which he would wipe its eye clean, to the chagrin of his attendant. Bhagavan respected his attendant's feelings too, so he would wash this towel himself. Bhagavan rarely asked anyone for anything. Once a stranger sat in his presence in the hall. Bhagavan looked at him and asked, "Next time, will you please bring me some cashew nuts?" Everybody was surprised. Bhagavan was a shy person and did not usually come forward to talk to strangers. Here, most extraordinarily, he was not only volunteering to talk to a stranger, but almost begging him to bring something for him. Soon everyone knew the reason. It was for the squirrels. They would not eat peanuts and were partial to cashew nuts. The ashram management felt differently. They are only squirrels. If they are hungry, they will eat anything. We can feed them peanuts, but they never touched the peanuts. 6 or 7 squirrels stood complaining in front of Bhagavan. That is what Bhagavan said. They are cajoling me and asking me where their food is. World War II was going on at the time, and cashew nut production had been nationalized, making them unavailable in the market. There was no cashew in the ashram kitchen, and the stove had only a few which the cooks wanted to save for their cooking. Bhagavan sent for cashew nuts 4 times, but they said, no, these cashew nuts are for making sweets. We won't give them. Finally, Bhagavan's boundless compassion won over his extraordinary restraint to get cashew nuts for the squirrels through the visitor. Bhagavan could often be seen breaking the cashew nuts into small pieces and keeping them in a small box. The only thing he asked for was cashew for the squirrels. Snakes and peacocks also frequently found their way to Ramana Ashramam. The great master gave us an example of his compassion even in his last moments. Just before Bhagavan dropped the body, he asked to be helped into Padma Asana. A white peacock was making sounds outside. After 5 minutes, Bhagavan opened his eyes and said, "He is hungry, feed him." In India, animals and birds are usually referred to in the neutral gender as it, but Bhagavan always referred to them as he or she. These are one of the last few sentences he spoke. Bhagavan's compassion to animals and birds cannot even be called extraordinary because he treated every being alike. It is only because we perceive the difference between the animal kingdom and mankind that we glorify Bhagavan's love for animals. Bhagavan was not paying any special attention to them. He was paying equal attention to all. Dandapani Swami was the cook and Bhagavan assisted him. Every morning, Dandapani Swami would bring a type of cactus which had to be ground or else it could not be eaten. Bhagavan would grind it and this eventually caused blisters on his fingers of his right hand. Bhagavan, of course, did not mind, but it irked Kunjuswamy. He approached Dandapani Swami and said, "Do not bring that cactus from now on. I am the cook. Do not interfere in my job." Dandapani Swami shot back. Kunjuswamy went to Bhagavan and complained, "Bhagavan, I have told Dandapani Swami not to bring this cactus, but he insists on bringing it and this has caused you blisters. I will not eat if you grind it." Nothing changed the next day, so Kunjuswamy refused to eat. Bhagavan noticed this and said, "What freedom do I have when I have to obey whatever anyone says? If I do not obey them, they say they will not eat. Where is my freedom?" Kunjuswamy was deeply hurt. Bhagavan continued taunting him. "Kunju, may I get up? I have eaten now. Or may I enter? May I read this book? If I read this without your permission, you will not eat. May I go out? I want to take a walk on the hill. May I, or you will not eat." This plunged Kunjuswamy into depression. After experiencing this for 3 days, he told Bhagavan, "Bhagavan, I am going to Tirupati. My train leaves at 6:30. Tirupati is a pilgrimage center in Andhra Pradesh, nearly 100 miles from Tiruvannamalai." After lunch, Bhagavan suddenly said, "I am going around the hill. Let us all go." Ramakrishna Swami told Kunjuswamy, "Your train is at 6:30. We will all go around Arunachala with Bhagavan. When we approach the town, you can catch your train." Kunjuswamy agreed and decided to take the opportunity to walk around the hill. But on that day, Bhagavan deliberately walked very slowly, so slowly that by that time they reached the outskirts of the city, the train had already left. Bhagavan said, "See Kunju, your train is moving. Go and get on." Then he consoled Kunjuswamy. You cannot even eat the ashram food. You find the sambar and rasam so spicy that you dilute them. In Andhra, everything is made with chilies. How can you eat there? Kunjuswamy prostrated at Bhagavan's feet. He recounted later, I served Bhagavan day and night and became a little proud of my proximity to him. I had begun to think that I was superior to all because I had been close to Bhagavan and that I was his best devotee and servant. Bhagavan just played a leela and snubbed me in his most natural and beautiful way. Ramakrishna Swami had a younger brother called Vasu who was studying in a college 400 miles from Tiruvannamalai. One day he got a letter from his family that Vasu was following a Hatha yogi who had taught him the practice of concentrating between the eyebrows. Vasu was so steadfast in doing this that he had almost turned mad. He was not able to eat or sleep and was in a pitiable condition. But he would not listen to his family's advice to desist. Ramakrishna Swami told Bhagavan, who knew all the family members, Bhagavan, if I go, he will not listen to me. Then Bhagavan said, Kunju, you go and tell him about the teaching. Ramakrishna Swami had only 5 rupees to give Kunju Swami. It was enough to buy a train ticket but not for food on the way. They didn't know how to tell Bhagavan this. Finally, Kunju Swami said, it doesn't matter. Bhagavan has asked me to go, so I will go. It is all right, even if I remain hungry. His train was at 6:30 in the evening. At 3 that afternoon, a visitor brought puris and Indian fried bread. Bhagavan used to eat 2 if they were small or 1 if they were bigger. Bhagavan practiced equal sharing. If there was only 1 puri and many people to share it with, he would make it into smaller pieces and distribute them equally to everyone. But on this day, when puri was served to him in the hall, he did not stop with 1. The visitors gave Bhagavan 2 puris and waited, then 3 and waited expectantly, then 4, then 5, then 6. Only then did Bhagavan say enough. Everybody was surprised that Bhagavan had accepted 6 puris when he would normally eat only 1. He then slowly and neatly packed 5 puris and called Kunjuswamy, who had not yet told him of his problem. The master compassionately told him, You have got money only for the ticket, but what will you eat? Take this to eat on the way. Kunju was so moved that whenever he narrated this incident, he would cry and bring us to tears too. Bhagavan's tender, loving, and caring ways are so beautiful. That's all, folks. Let's continue with in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Pupoda.